Hey guys, Grins and Giggles Productions here. We're gonna be showing you guys how to make a simple landscape that looks, somewhat decent. And you can use this for your desktop, phone wallpaper, whatever. Impress your friends. Go ahead and we're gonna jump right in, and we're gonna create a new layer or a new project. Width by 7 inches, height by 5 inches, and just hit OK. We'll have a new canvas. Go to image, or not image, create a new layer. And make sure that the color is set to none. We'll call this grass. And click OK. Select your brush. Set the color to somewhat of a green color, just so it resembles grass color. I don't know. We're gonna actually be using a preset called Dune Grass. And that should be at least a third of the way up from the bottom. And set the brush size to about 45 pixels, somewhere around there. And we're gonna go ahead and create a horizon line. Like so. Okay, that should be good. What we'll do is we'll copy it. Right click, duplicate layer. Hit OK. Just kinda move it around just so we have a little bit of variation. Go to edit, free transform, and go ahead and fill it in for the rest of the canvas. And then duplicate it again. And just because we're lazy, we're going to free transform it and fill up everything else, just because we're lazy. Hit OK. Now enter. Now we're going to create another layer, and we're going to make a somewhat of a close-up. We'll call this medium. We'll call this medium just because it's not necessarily a close-up, but it's more of a medium shot. So we'll make this about 100 pixels. We'll make this slightly darker. Hit OK. Just kind of brush that in there. Okay, that's good. And go ahead and hit filter, blur, Gaussian blur. And we'll just go ahead and blur this out a slight bit due to perspective wise. If you're focusing anything in the background, it's going to be slightly blurrier than whatever's in front of you. So that's good. And now we're going to go ahead and create another layer. A shortcut would be Control or Command. If you're using a Mac, it would be Command. But Control Shift N. We'll call this close-up. Okay. Then we'll actually make the brush size about 150 pixels. And we'll make it kind of a yellowish. And you just want just a couple of blades here and there, just so people can tell, or at least you can tell, that this is close and not, super far away. And we'll do the same thing, Gaussian blur, and filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and blur it out good enough so you can kind of see it, but kind of not clearly. Like 2.5 pixels. That should be good. Hit OK. Now what we're gonna do is create a fill in the background. Or not on the background, but in the back. So make a new, call it fill. Hit OK. And you can use your gradient. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to use a foreground to transparent. And what you want to do is kind of minimize the amount of foreground with the amount of the transparent. And it'll say custom, but don't worry about it. It works. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fill it up in the background. Move it around. And what this does is it basically fills in for whatever areas that you did not get with the brush. And now if you select your brush again, go to a somewhat of a bluish tone, we're going to be creating a set of mountains or hills in the back. So just go ahead and go to the top of your layers and make a new layer, call it mountains. Hit OK. And make sure you use a brush that has a 100% hardness, like that, just because then you won't actually have to worry about it being all fuzzy and stuff in the background. Which, I mean, we can do that, but I don't think it looks as good. I mean, yeah. Okay. Okay, don't want to do that. Make sure it's you know, unified, so it doesn't have any darker spots. And I know this doesn't look like mountains yet, but we're getting there. So go ahead and use your eraser tool, hardness at 100% again, and we'll go ahead and take away what we don't need. It's kind of, there we go. There we go. So kind of a mountain range looking deal. Kind of shift it behind there, or down. Kind of by your horizon line. It will actually take the layer and move it under the fill layer. Under the fill layer. Now, if you can kind of see it under the fill layer right there, what you can do is go actually go back to your fill layer. Select somewhat of the same colorish, and go back to your gradient and shrink the amount of fade to your transparency, because what the transparency is doing is just creating, don't want to do that, it's creating a fade like that, so it covers up, you know, everything else and makes it look nice. There you go. And it should look like that. That's it for right now, you guys. We will go ahead and see you guys in the next tutorial, and we'll be covering how to make a sky and using an overlay to bring out color correction and all that good stuff. So, see you guys in a bit.